From 48 teams, 40 have come and gone. The last 8, here we go. Today, it's France taking on Morocco to kick off the quarterfinal stage. And these gems in studio aren't the only ones breaking it all down here today. We will have Frank Leboeuf and Colin Udo joining us very shortly indeed. But I want to start with you, Macca. Your overall thoughts on this brilliant World Cup so far?
Well, I think the fact that we've got a bigger World Cup this year, 48 teams, the fact that we're down to the last 8, and let's be honest, all the big teams are still in it, aren't they? All the favourites going into the tournament, France, Argentina, England, Spain, you know, even the champions of the AFCON now, Morocco was still involved. So I think that's my takeaway. It doesn't matter how many teams are involved in the competition. When it gets down to the business end, the best teams are still there.
Only 8 nations have ever won the World Cup. You're absolutely right. I know the emotion of it all, Ali, is standing out to you.
Yeah, it's been brilliant to see a lot of the veteran players who understand that this may be their last World Cup or their last opportunity to play in the world stage and in this tournament. To see the emotion, they're a bit overwhelmed, and the tears and the fact that this means so much to them. I can definitely relate being in a similar position, playing in a World Cup, and it's just been unbelievable to see. That emotion from every single one of them, and just the willingness to want to continue and to fight until the very end. It's been brilliant.
Yeah. Frank Leboeuf, want to get your thoughts on this one? I know it's a big, big day for you today, and you're Le Bleu.
Well, everything has been perfect. You know, I was expecting big, lots of goals, you know, against Curacao, Haiti, or Cape Verde. It happened only once with Germany. But otherwise, you know, everything has been very nice to watch and entertaining for everybody. I thought the atmosphere around here in New York has been absolutely great. And everybody enjoys the World Cup. The games are good. We have big suspense right now. And it's true that seeing the best team in the world fighting for the title is it's really something that I was looking for.
Colin, how about you? What stood out so far for you?
Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, this World Cup has given what I call a black eye to critics of the 48-team World Cup. We heard the UEFA President Seferin talking about how the World Cup should not have so many teams. We heard Gennaro Gattuso of Italy also say the same thing about how some certain countries should not be at the World Cup. But like Frank said, there were people wanted to see blowouts. They haven't been blowouts. We've seen the likes of Haiti, Cape Verde, Curacao come in and give a great account of themselves. Look, no matter how you slice it, the best teams are going to end up at the top of the pile when it comes down to the business end, and that's what's going to happen. But the World Cup has brought, the expanded World Cup has brought so much joy, so much great stories. Even the goal by Lopez Cabral against Argentina, a great moment for the expanded World Cup, and I think long may it continue.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the point that was made about the seedings before the tournament was set out. Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. This is Argentina, Spain. You've got England, and who was the other team? Sorry. France. So they're the top 4, and they're still left in the competition. So it shows that the seeding has mattered, but those teams have all had to earn the right to be there. And you can look at the expanded nature of the tournament as well. And there have been some ties, which makes you wonder in some ways, like which are the teams that wouldn't be here otherwise? Because you think, oh, it'd be this team, that team, and so on and so forth. But they've made a good account of themselves. And then finally, like, from a footballing standpoint, you look at the top goal scorers at this World Cup.
It's a joke, isn't it?
It's the majority of the big names that you would hope to be there. Adding into that, Lionel Messi breaks the record to be the all-time top goal scorer at the competition. And then 27-year-old Kylian Mbappe is right on his tail as they're both still left in the competition. From that standpoint, in terms of the stars and the big nations, it's been incredible.
I mean, you cannot make up this storyline for the Golden Boot. It's been absolutely phenomenal with Messi, Mbappe, Haaland and Kane all going for it. Frank Leboeuf, what's been your favourite game of the World Cup so far?
You know, I'm hesitating between Argentina against Cape Verde and Mexico against England, but I'm going to go for Mexico against England because everybody promised the hell to the English, and they stepped up and they had a hell of a game. That was exceptional. The enthusiasm that they put into the game, the willingness of going into everybody and every odds. That was great. That was really great. And England deserved to win that game. They did everything they had to do to make sure they won. Maybe they didn't have the real possession of the game, but they handled the altitude, the crazy atmosphere from the fans, and they won that game, and they were able to go through. And Harry Kane not being able to speak anymore because he was shouting to his teammate during the game said a lot about the involvement of everybody.
That must have been something else back in England, guys, for both of you.
It was 5 o'clock in the morning back in England. that was the
I'd imagine there were some heads showing up for work the next morning.
Yeah, it was a wonderful game, wasn't it? As Frank rightly said, with everything going against them with the altitude, etc., etc. We've spoke about it before. And Giroud getting sent off and having to survive for such a long time with 10 men, I think it made that victory a little bit better. I still think they need to improve. I didn't get carried away like a lot of the English press did about that particular performance, because it was a dogged defensive performance where at the end of the game they're getting the ball and just kicking it into the crowd or kicking it up the field. You know, they have to improve it, but the fact that they got this far and they're in the quarterfinals and now they can look forward to Norway and then possibly, you know, an Argentina semi-final. It just flows right, doesn't it? It really looks good for England. But I still even admit now that I still want them to be better than what I've seen. They should have got this far when you look at their opponents.
You talk attacking-wise?
Yes. Just creativity all over the park, really. I expect better performances than what I've seen, even though the last one against Mexico was decent in itself.
Yes, for sure. And from that England perspective, if England would have been knocked out now, not many people would have been surprised, because you'd be talking about the altitude, talking about Mexico's record at the Azteca. And even though Mexico themselves don't have an incredible record at the World Cup, you could see the storyline that would lead to them being in that position. And then from an England perspective, we go down to 10 players very early in the second half. So you're thinking, well, this is it. This is a story that we've seen like repeat itself throughout, you know, our lives. But it was the opposite. And I think I'm with Maka in terms of understanding that England can play better. But I could make the case that, say, France the round before could have played better and maybe put Paraguay to bed the same way that the US did. But instead, England, France, and some of these other teams, for all the quality that they have, they've shown a level of grit and determination and passion that puts them in the positions they're in now, where they are deserving of being in this last eight.